So this is what I'm very excited to learn about that I have been waiting to watch on stream. It is the Siren Isle preview, the new zone that they are surprisingly adding to the game all of a sudden. Yes, sea giants stuff. Let's check it out. Yay! I have not seen this yet.
Hi, I'm Kayla Brown, and I am a game producer on the WoW team. I'm here joined with a bunch of our talented developers in order to show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into what we have lined up for our 1107 content update. One of the awesome features that we have coming in with 1107 is actually a brand new zone that we have named Siren Isle. Our design philosophy when creating this zone was to make sure that we made a very engaging outdoor end game experience that would cater to a whole bunch of different play styles and player types.
Amazing.
Siren Isle is a mysterious island located in a particularly stormy part of the ocean. During the Fourth War, it was used by the Kultirans to mine azurite, and then everybody mysteriously disappeared. Recently, the island has sent out a massive pulse of energy.
Did you just say... Did you just say azurite? I know you didn't. The azurite, it's gone now, right? We don't need it anymore, right? No, champion. No more wounds.
And everything heard it. And your allies are mounting an expedition to this island to find out what happened and investigate.
Okay.
Players arrive in Dornegal to meet up with the goblin Skagit, which is Gazlo's assistant. And we find that the Earthen and the Arathi have...
Can anybody figure out what else is on the screen here? Man, I'm like so thirsty for Haranir information. I'm scanning this thing hard.
Already made it to the island, so naturally Skagit's ready to go. He's like, get on the Zeppelin, let's go.
There's no Haranir stuff.
So
here.
What's fun about the Siren Isle is when players arrive, we see signs that Kultirans have been here before, but there seems to be nobody around, which is really interesting. We see all these buildings and structures, but by the time the expedition gets there, it's empty. It's one of those fun little mysteries, we hope. So on this island, players are going to have a wealth of enemies to encounter. We actually have 3 separate groups. So we have the Bloodwake Vrykul, we have the Naga, and then we have a bunch of pirates. These groups will be rotating around on the island, so players won't encounter the same group week to week. Also, players will...
Is this like that island thing that they had in BFA where you run around the island and you AoE pack some mobs and it's different every time? It seems kind of like that. I actually enjoyed that.
Encounter a large crystal in the center of the island that seems to sing gently or hum, which has attracted the attention of both the Arathi and the Earthen.
What?
So our friends on the island, they're all here for different
that's interesting.
reasons, which is really exciting. The Earthen and the Arathi are here to study the crystal, and you know, the goblins are interested in what the crystal can do, right?
Yeah,
And so they're a really fun cast of people to have because they're so different. But it's also fun to have them all together here because their differences actually might be more complementary than we think.
So the goblins are looking at this crystal, thinking about how they can turn it into a bunch of necklaces and rings and stuff to sell. The left screen is the goblins' buildings. What? Is it? Oh, are you sure? Oh my god, maybe you're right. Oh my god, it's kind of blurry, but maybe you're right. Oh, maybe you're right.
Differences actually might be more complementary than we think.
Siren Isle, being in a particularly stormy part of the ocean, is regularly...
So, do you think that the goblins are also trying to mine the gems off of the Earthen? Because Earthen have, like, precious gems growing out of their bodies. And I feel like if I was an Earthen, I'd have to watch myself around a goblin because I feel like they'd be chipping away at me when I'm not looking, you know?
Lashed by horrible tempests. During these storms, powerful creatures of all kinds come up out of the ocean and assault the island. Players can defend their allies to go into the storm. In order to do this, their allies have provided them with vehicles and weapons and other tools that they can use to take on these much more powerful enemies. There's all these crazy powerful enemies that show up.
Is that new art? Oh, is that new art? I don't think I've seen that before. Alaria, and she's being tethered to the ground by some kind of purple ribbony thing.
These tools, for example, my favorite is the crawler mines. You can grab them, target one of the big nasties, and just have the bomb run up to it and explode.
I mean, that could be good. Depending. This could either be fun or it could be annoying. It kind of depends on the implementation. Like if I always have to get into a vehicle to fight, that drives me nuts. Like I'm not crazy about the mounted combat stuff, but if it's just fun little power-ups that help you a little, then that's okay. I just don't want it to interfere too much with my normal gameplay, like how I normally would play my character.
There's 3 caves on the island that are sealed up. Each of these caves has a deadly enemy inside. Players will be able to chip in, and you can donate to their excavations. And each of the factions, the Earthen, the Goblin, and the Arathi, have a different cave on the island, and players can donate to get the events to open.
Get your feet moving. We got a tunnel to blast open.
Circe Circlet is a mysterious ring that once belonged to a mythical, legendary siren named Circe. It's a very powerful item that'll give you an edge, especially on the Siren Isle. And as weeks unfold, you'll be able to unlock more gems, more powers associated with Siren Isle and the ring.
Like Mechagon.
So this is actually a model of Circe Circlet that you'll be able to see in game. One of our artists, Brittany Reinhardt, was able to throw it together, and you can see, like, even in game, you'll be able to see it on your character, which is, I thought it was.
Oh my god, it's a ring that's on your character's.
It was pretty cool.
Hand.
You'll be able to interact with a lot of different pieces of content using this ring. It'll be fairly strong, and it'll have 3 different sockets. Each one is a different type, and you'll be able to collect a myriad of different gems that fit into these sockets, all of which do different things. Even in the
It's like
season, they'll
Mechagon.
be fairly strong, and in the next season, they'll kind of be.
Oh my god. But you know what? I just realized. You know what's probably going to happen? Okay, my prediction is, like Mechagon, you're going to get there, and there is going to be so much little shit that they put in your inventory. Like, you're going to have 100 different gems. You're going to have 100 different little toys that you need to use that activate different things in the zone. And, like, little random dusts and pieces of equipment that only work there that you have to keep in your bags. I bet. Oh man, I bet.
Strong enough to give you a leadway to the new content.
That drives me
coming up.
crazy.
There's a slew of really cool mounts.
You better not clutter my inventory.
Some of which are unused from past years that
are
really exciting to finally
yes. Ooh. That is awesome.
the player's hand.
Yeah, good.
They've seen it in the files long enough.
First thing is we look for a lot of reference to make sure that we're making something believable, something that seems like it's grounded in nature's rules enough so that when players look at it, there's nothing that's just like totally breaks their immersion. The aesthetic is really interesting. It's kind of inspired in some ways by the American Southwest. Like I was looking at some references of Arizona and stuff, the elements of those cliffs there. And so those
Cool. Well, it doesn't remind me that much of Arizona, but some things are kind of like that. It seems like something new and different. It's weird to have like this kinds of tall evergreen trees sparsely put across this type of a landscape, and it's stormy, and but it's interesting because it feels different.
some of the things that we'll do to bring the world to life. We have filled this thing with a lot of secrets, even more than in some of our previous full zone maps, because it's smaller, it's denser. So I'm excited to see if people can find all the crazy stuff that we did. I put in this little spooky spot back here. The quest designers wanted like an atmospheric kind of creepy spot, so I put like lots of animal bones have kind of been washing up in here. Another thing that's cool too is all these little like caves and micros that we added in. Each one kind of has its own crazy theme. Like over here, they'll spawn in this like crazy dragon that's gonna get spawned in from all these bones that have been collected and stuff. So that's kind of like the pinnacle of this like little creepy pocket over here. This used to be like an azurite mine over here in the center. So there's like elements of what happened here, but then you can tell something bad happened. And there's also this really cool
exploded.
stuff was put up in the ridges of the mountains. And one of the things I helped out with doing was like making a lot of this space playable. So instead of just being limited to a flat 2D plane, we can put stuff on top of that 2D plane, and then you get new gameplay experiences, new vantage points, like this big mine track that goes above everything. We definitely do a lot of play testing and soup testing amongst ourselves, and that really helps too. I'm not just kind of designing stuff in my corner. That will like get people to actually run through it, and I'll get opinions from people who haven't been building it to see like where do they get lost, where are the pain points here.
Oh man, I can do that for you.
We don't just go through for this, we go through it for all the spaces we design in our...
You can just watch. Well, that's kind of... Never mind. I was going to say. I was going to be like, you can just watch me play it and then you'll know what the problems are. And then I'm like, wait, that's what they do? I watch the players go through it and that's how they find out like what to fix. Yeah. Like you shouldn't be the only one doing playtesting is what I'm saying. If you're building it, there should be other people that are QA, right? You guys have that, right?
Game. And again, we'll also look back at previous examples of what did players like from previous zones, what did they not like. We try to learn from our past mistakes and learn from our past successes and bring that forward into our new stuff.
Well, one thing I like about what I've heard so far is the sense of mystery here. Like if they do manage to put a ton of different little secrets hidden all around it, and there's this overarching story that's super interesting and mysterious and it makes you wonder what the heck happened here. And they are able to feed you little bits of info slowly and carefully. It could end up being quite nice.
One of my favorite little Easter eggs, because there are plenty on this isle. There are plenty of Easter eggs and secrets for people to look forward to. One of my favorites personally is the bestiary, actually, all the creatures that are native to the island. One of the things that I took a lot of inspiration from was actually Darwin's finches on the Galapagos, and that essentially states that there are all of these finches that are very closely related, but on different islands their beaks have become different, right? So they have adapted to do different things and eat different things.
What? That's
so
so
I took that
cool!
concept and I put it on the Siren Isle as like,
Wow!
the isle. Where are all the creatures that have come here? How has the island been affected over time? Like, all of the creatures are intentional, and it's a fun Easter egg that I don't think people would look.
I love that. That is so inspired. That is really thoughtful. Hell yeah. That is absolutely the right attitude to take when putting little animals on the island. Ask yourself like, okay, based on the ecology of this area, what adaptations would make sense? That's so cool. Way to go, girl.
But I hope that they'll enjoy uncovering the secret.
I like that.
The history of the isle through the creatures as well.
Nice.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Our team had a blast in creating and bringing to life Siren Isle, and we really hope that you have just as much fun exploring it as the team did in creating it.
Okay,
Wanted
just
to
don't
thank you
clutter
all
my
again,
inventory,
and we really
please.
hope to see you all in the Siren Isle.
Of course I will. That is really fast that they are. So you're saying we're going on an expedition to some sort of island? It does sound like that. I liked island expeditions though, personally. I don't know if they were that popular overall, but I get a lot of joy out of just running around and AoEing a gigantic pack of mobs. Like that's enough to keep me entertained, but I am fairly easily entertained. Guys, what should this small island constantly battered by storms look like? Arizona. That's what I was like. It doesn't really. But it's they don't always need to copy paste locales from the real world into the game. Like obviously that's something they do a lot and many games do a lot, but they don't need to do that every time. I think blending different ideas together to create something really different is better. Siren Isle genuinely feels like this was something for BFA, but it was cut. But nearly everything about it screams, yeah, obviously it was made for BFA. But it was cut. Hell, I mean, this is good that we get the stuff that was cut instead of them just sitting on it and never using it forever. I think it's excellent. So I'm glad. People are scared though because they have the PTSD flashbacks of BFA and the Heart of Azeroth neck. Yeah, it's cool. Awesome. Okay. Surely this will be better than the Onyx amulet from Forbidden Reach. Well, I haven't done Forbidden Reach, really, so I can't speak to that. I don't know if that was bad or good. But, yeah, that's Siren Isle. And when is that, did they say? 1107, which is December 10th, maybe? We don't know yet. But according to this article, they believe it could be sooner than anticipated. Possible release date. The prospect of a December 10 release is intriguing. 10th of December, maybe. Well, we'll see. Are y'all gonna do that? I certainly will.